Our story today is called Rain, Rain Everywhere. Oh, maybe that's what's happening later today. We'll see. All right, looking at the cover, this was originally published as Molly in the Storm, but Christine Leeson is who wrote it, illustrated by Gabby Henson. It's a Scholastic, so they have given us permission to use it on videos. I'm seeing some mice, and I see rain, kind of like in our rain story, or our rainforest story earlier today, the nonfiction. And it looks like they're staying very close to maybe their mom, and they look a little bit scared. Let's find out what happens. It was the first sunny day after weeks and weeks of rain. "Can we go out to play, Mom?" asked Molly Mouse, dancing in the pale sunshine. "Please." "As long as you keep an eye on the weather," said Mother Mouse. "I'm sure more rain is on the way." So there they are, asking their mother to go out. I'm thinking this must be Molly, because she was the one talking, asking Mom, "Please, can we go?" Molly and her brothers and sister scampered across the fields. They chased each other around the trees, puffy and white with blossoms. They hopped through carpets of bluebells. They were enjoying themselves so much that they didn't notice it was suddenly getting darker. What happens when the sky gets darker? It starts to maybe rain. Rain is coming. So they did not notice it. They didn't see it. Plop! A large drop of rain fell on Molly's nose. Then another and another. Big dark clouds filled the sky and the rain started to fall faster and faster. "We'll never get home in time," groaned Molly. "Where can we find shelter until it stops?" They're wanting to find shelter or someplace to go to be safe. Just then a squirrel hurried by on her way home. She stopped when she saw the little wet mice. Her own family was safe and warm in their nest. She couldn't possibly leave the mice out in the rain. "Come with me," she said. "You can stay at my place." Oh, so the squirrel is being so kind and saying, "Come up in the tree with me. Come to my nest and be safe." Squirrel ran ahead and bounded up a tree, but the mice didn't follow. "Your house is too high and it doesn't look safe in the storm," sighed Molly. An old harvest mouse popped her head out of the long grass. "You can stay with me," she said kindly. "I have a nice warm nest of twigs." So they didn't want to go up the tree because it was too high with the squirrel. But this mouse is saying, "Come in here with me." Harvest Mouse scuttled to her home, but the mice didn't follow. They could see that the woven nest was far too small for all of them. Just then a little rabbit found the mice. "You can come to my place," cried Rabbit, "and join my baby brothers and sisters in the warmth of our burrow." He couldn't leave these poor little mice out in the storm. So the little mouse's nest was too small. Now here comes Rabbit to say, "Come with me." And she lives in a burrow. It's going to be under the ground. Rabbit hopped down his rabbit hole, but the mice stayed outside. "Your home is very full," said Molly, peering inside at all the baby rabbits. "I think we'd be too squished." Before Rabbit had time to answer, he and the mice heard someone calling. Molly pricked up her ears. "It's Mom," she squeaked. So the rabbits there were a bunch of them, so it was too full to go in. But they're hearing their mom coming to help them. "Thank goodness I found you," cried Mother Mouse. "The storm is getting worse, but there's an old hollow oak tree nearby where we can stay dry until the rain stops." The hollow oak stood at the top of a slope. The mice scrambled inside and were soon warm and dry. "We'll stay here tonight," said Mother Mouse. "You can all curl up together and go to sleep." So Mom came and found them, and she said, "Let's go up here on top of the hill to this oak tree and be safe." But Molly couldn't sleep. She lay listening to the roar of the wind and the pounding rain, and she was worried about her new friends. Would Harvest Mouse's home be destroyed? Rabbit's burrow might be flooded and Squirrel's nest blown away. Molly looked at her family sleeping snugly. She couldn't leave her friends out in the storm. Molly hurried outside. Oh dear. Probably not safe, but she wants to go save her friends. Let's see what happens. Do you think that her friends are going to come in the old oak tree with her? Let's find out. The wind tugged and pulled at Molly. As she struggled across the field, there, huddled under the swaying tree, was Squirrel. "You must come with me," said Molly. "We found the perfect place to stay." Just then, Harvest Mouse appeared out of the grass, looking tired and messy. "Can I come too?" she asked. "Of course," said Molly. As they made their way back, they passed Rabbit and his family huddled under a bush. "You'll be nice and warm if you come with us," said Molly. So she found all of her friends. She found Squirrel and the little field mouse and the rabbit. At last, Molly and her new friends reached the shelter of the old oak tree. Outside, the wind battered the trees and flattened the grass, but inside, everyone was safe and dry. Oh, they look happy to be in there and safe. The wind had stopped by the time morning came, and the sun crept up into the sky. The animals crawled out of their shelter. There before them was a rainbow stretching as far as the eye could see. "It's for you, Molly," whispered Harvest Mouse. "It's a special present for saving us." And Molly smiled happily, surrounded by her family and all her new